October 19, 2014, from AT&T Stadium in Arlington, Texas, it was the New York Giants at the Dallas Cowboys in this NFC East rivalry matchup. The Cowboys won the toss and elected to receive, but they went 3 and out on their first possession, so they would punt the ball to the Giants. The Giants also went 3 and out, and they punted it back to Dallas. So now the Cowboys took over on their own 24 with about 11 minutes left in the first quarter. And they brought the ball to midfield, and on 3rd and 8 from their own 44, Romo ended up hitting Witten for a 12-yard reception, and now they had it on the 44 of the Giants. A few plays later, it was 3rd and 5 from the Giants' 39, and Romo dropped back to pass, and he hit Escobar for a 24-yard reception that brought the ball into the red zone at the Giants' 15. A couple plays later, it was 3rd and 10, still from the 15 of the New York Giants. Romo dropped back to pass, and he hit Escobar, this time for a 15-yard touchdown to make it 7-0 Cowboys over the Giants. So now the Giants would take over with about 5 minutes left in the first quarter on their own 20. They would end up punting 5 plays later, and so now the Cowboys had on their 20 with about 2.5 minutes left before halftime, or before the end of the first quarter, that is, and they went 3 and out. So now the Giants got the ball back just before the end of the first quarter on their own 29-yard line, and they brought the ball up to their 40 when they ended up having a pass from Eli to Randall for 11 yards. Jenkins ended up getting hurt on the play, though. But anyway, after that, Williams ran for no gain, and so the first quarter came to a close with the score 7-0 Cowboys over the Giants. So now to open up the second quarter, the Giants had the ball on their own 40, and Odell Beckham ended up running around an end around for 13 yards to bring it across midfield to the Dallas 47. Then a few plays later, it was 3rd and 7, and it ended up being a penalty of offensive holding that made it 3rd and 17 from the 46 of New York. Eli dropped back to pass, and he found Larry Donald for a 16-yard reception, which made it 4th and 1. But then the Giants decided to go for it there on the Dallas 38, and a penalty of pass interference gave the Giants a first down on the Dallas 27. Williams then ran for 22 yards to bring it all the way to the Dallas 5, and it was 1st and goal from the 5 for the G-men. They ended up being pushed back because of an illegal substitution on the next play after a 1-yard run by Williams. And so then it was 2nd and 9, 2nd and goal from the 9-yard line. Eli dropped back to pass, and he found Odell Beckham for a 9-yard touchdown that tied this game up at 7 apiece. So now the Cowboys took over with about 11.5 minutes before halftime. They had it on their own 20. But then 5 plays later, Romo dropped back to pass, and he was intercepted by Prince Amukamara. And so now the Giants got the ball back on the Cowboys 27, and Eli didn't waste any time as he dropped back to pass, and he found Fells for the 27-yard touchdown that made it 14-7 G-men over the Cowboys. So now the Cowboys took over with about 8 minutes left before halftime, and they had it on their own 20-yard line. And then a few plays later, after picking up a couple first downs, it was 3rd and 9 from the Dallas 43. Romo dropped back to pass, and he hit Witten for a 15-yard completion. And so that brought the ball across midfield into the Giants 42. Then DeMarco Murray ran for 21 yards to make it first down on the Giants 21. And then after a 3-yard run by Randall, it was 2nd and 7 from the 18 of New York. Romo dropped back to pass, and he found Williams for an 18-yard touchdown pass that tied this game up at 14 apiece. So now the Giants took over on their own 20 with a little over 2 minutes left before halftime. They would go 3 and out, and they punted the ball to Dallas, who now took over with a little less than a minute and a half before halftime. And they had it on their own 27. Romo got sacked by JPP, and that was for a 9-yard loss. So it was 2nd and 19. And then after an incomplete pass, Dunbar ran for 13 yards, but it was 4th and 6 from the 31, and they would end up punting the ball to the Giants, and nothing would really get going for them. And the first half came to a close with the score tied at 14 apiece. So now in the third quarter, to open up the second half, the Giants had the ball. They started off on their own 35, and they made it up to midfield, but they would end up having a punt on 4th and 18 from the Cowboys 43. So now Dallas took over, backed up against their own end zone on their own 7-yard line, but they would end up with getting the ball out to midfield when it was 3rd and 6, and then from the Dallas 11, Romo dropped back to pass, and he found Dez Bryant for a 44-yard reception. JPP was injured on the play, and Beeson and Jenkins were then out for the rest of the game. They'd been injured earlier. So now it was first down on the 45 of the Giants for the Cowboys. Murray ran for 2 yards to bring up 2nd and 8 from the 40 through. Romo dropped back to pass, and he found Dez Bryant, as he had already done once on this drive. This time it was for 17 yards to make it a first down on the Giants' 26. Romo then dropped back to pass on first down and found Escobar for a 26-yard touchdown, as the two connected for a touchdown for the second time this game, and it was now 21-14, Cowboys over the Giants. So now the Giants took over with about 6 minutes left before the end of the third, and they had it on their own 16-yard line. They would end up getting into Cowboys territory, but on 4th down, they would end up punting from the 40. So now the Cowboys took over on their own 13 with about a minute left before the end of the third, and they ended up picking up 15 yards on first down with a run by Murray, and then Romo hit Dez Bryant for a 23-yard pass on the last play of the third quarter. So the quarter came to a close with the score 21-14, Cowboys over the Giants, and the Cowboys now had the ball on the Giants' 49 to open up the fourth quarter for a first down. Murray ran for a yard and then 3, and then on 3rd and 6, Romo hit Dez Bryant for a 5-yard pass to make it 4th and 1. A delay of game penalty would make it 4th and 6, and the Cowboys would punt the ball to the Giants. So now the Giants took over on their own 11 with about 12 and a half minutes left in this game, down by 7. They would end up having a 3rd and 8 from their own 19. Eli dropped back to pass. He hit Donald, but then he fumbled as Church forced the fumble, and Durant recovered, and now it was the Cowboys' ball on the Giants' 27-yard line with about 11 minutes left in the fourth. Romo then hit Murray for a 4-yard pass, and then Murray got dropped for 2 on 2nd down. That brought up 3rd and 8 from the 25. Romo dropped back to pass, and he hit Dez Bryant for the 25-yard touchdown, but then the replay ruled that he was down on the 1-yard line. So now it was 1st and goal from the 1, and DeMarco Murray punched it in from a yard out to give the Cowboys the 2-touchdown lead, with the score now 28-14, Dallas over New York. So now the Giants took over with a little over 9 minutes left in this game, and they had the ball on their own 20-yard line, and they made it to their own 38, and then Eli hit Donald for a 17-yard pass that brought it into the Dallas territories. They had a first down now on the 45. Eli then would connect with Randall for a 16-yard pass to make it a first down on the 29 of Dallas, and then Eli hit Randall again, this time for 13 yards to make it a first down in the red zone at the Dallas 16, and then Eli hit Beckham for an 11-yard pass, so now it was 1st and goal from the 5. A couple incompletions, 3 incompletions, would make it 4th and goal from the 5. And on 4th and goal from the 5, the Giants win for it, and Eli Manning, after throwing 3 incomplete passes on 4th down, would now hit Odell Beckham Jr. for a 5-yard touchdown pass to bring the G-Men within 7, with the score now 28-21, Dallas over New York. So now the Cowboys would take over with about 5.5 minutes left in this game, and they had it on their own 20-yard line. And they would face a 3rd and 1 from the 29. Murray would then pick up 8 yards as he came up clutch with the first down to bring it to the Dallas 37. Murray then ran for 17 yards on first down to bring the ball across midfield into the Giants 46. The Giants then burned their first timeout, and then it was after a 1-yard run, that's when they burnt the timeout, and now Romo would drop back to pass and hit Dez Bryant for a 13-yard reception that would bring the ball to the Giants 32 at the 2-minute warning. DeMarco Murray would then run for a yard, and the Giants burned their second timeout. Now it was 2nd and 9 from the Giants 31. DeMarco Murray got stuffed for no gain, and the G-Men burned their last timeout with about 1:50 on the clock. Now it was 3rd and 9 from the Giants 31, and Murray got stopped again for no gain. So now the Cowboys would call a timeout as they would bring out Dan Bailey to attempt the 49-yard field goal, and it was up and it was good, and the Cowboys took a 10-point lead with the score 31-21 with about a minute left on the clock. So now the Giants would take over on their own 20, and after picking up 13 yards on first down, it was again a first down now from the 33 of New York. Eli dropped back to pass. He hit Larry Donnell for a 6-yard reception, but Durant blew him up and forced the fumble, and the Cowboys recovered as Melton got it, and now the Cowboys had nothing left to do but kneel on the ball as Tony Romo lined them up in the victory formation, and the final score is Dallas 31, New York 21, and the Cowboys are now 6-1 as they are the first team in the NFL this season to reach 6 victories. The Giants are now 3-4. And in this game, Tony Romo was 17 for 23 with 279 passing yards, 3 touchdowns, and 1 interception. He also ran for 5 yards off of 2 carries. Eli Manning was 21 for 33 with 248 passing yards and 3 touchdowns, and he also ran for 11 yards off of 1 carry. The leading rusher in this game was DeMarco Murray with 128 rushing yards off of 28 carries and 1 touchdown. And at this point in the season so far, only 2 running backs have run for more yards in this many games, and I believe that was Terrell Davis, and I believe it was Jamal Lewis was the other one, but he now has rushed for more yards than Barry or Walter Payton had at this point in any season during their careers. So DeMarco Murray with the 3rd best first half of a season in the first 7 games of a season so far. Very impressive. He also picked up 4 yards off of a reception. The leading receiver was Dez Bryant as he had 151 yards off of 9 receptions. Escobar had those 2 touchdowns. He also had 65 yards off of 3 receptions. So 2 of his 3 receptions for Escobar were in the end zone. Larry Donnell had 90 yards off of 7 receptions. Of course, those costly fumbles, 2 of them that Donnell made, really cost the Giants. In this game, the leading tackler was Church, and the Cowboys didn't even get a sack. The Giants had 2 sacks, and they both were for JPP, as he also had 6 tackles and 3 tackles for losses, as he was up in Romo's face all game, and Prince Amakamara had the lone interception in this game. But the Cowboys come up huge. They got a big performance out of DeMarco Murray and Tony Romo. Although he did throw the 1 interception, he had 3 touchdown passes, 2 of which went to Escobar. And the Cowboys win this one 31-21 over New York.